Somebody is going to spill the beans, and that someone is Nia Jax. Nia Jax has an upcoming interview where she's going to spill some gossip about her former employer. Plus, we got The Undertaker, who reveals today in an interview his Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, and a former WWE star in Karrion Kross is making his way to Hollywood. Will it work out for him just like it did in WWE? We're going to talk about all of this and more in today's top story.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Sportskeeda Wrestling top story of the day. I'm Jose G. Next to me is Jeremy Bennett, as always, bringing you the top headlines of the day here on SK Wrestling. This is my first day back since the Thanksgiving break, and Jeremy, I know you came back yesterday. How's everything, bro? How's
good.
What's going on?
It is good. It's good to be back. Of course, lots going on in the wrestling world as usual, and we had last reported on Wednesday, and then we had that hot MJF and CM Punk promo, and then now we're all the way up to tonight. We're setting the table, going home for War Games tonight. So
man, tonight's going to be a good show. I'm hoping for it. I'm looking forward to Sunday, but we got a lot to jump into today, guys. Before we could jump into today's top headlines, we want you to go ahead and subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. We already hit that threshold of 23,000. We're on our way to 24, all the way to 30. Help us get there. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. We got a brand new show now on Instagram with DDP. Bang! With the Bro Show, along with Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone. That is every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday morning in Indian Standard Time. But we got a lot of stuff dropping every single day. So make sure you do have your notifications set on to see first so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and give us a share right now and share in your favorite wrestling group, because we're about to jump into the top headlines of the day. Engage with the show, hit the like, the heart emoji, the angry emoji, whichever you want to do. But let's jump into our first story of the day here. Nia Jax, she put out a tweet today that she is going to be spilling the beans, spilling some gossip about her former employer, WWE. What's the scoop here, Jeremy?
How about this 2 straight days of Nia Jax in the news?
Well, hey.
Of course, we talked about Nia Jax yesterday, as she claims she is done with professional wrestling, but she has revealed on the Twitter that she will be soon appearing on Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast in the very near future. She stated that don't worry, I'll be chatting and spilling gossip with Renee Paquette eventually, is what she said. Now, that was in response to a tweet that was basically saying, take that statement back. I don't know what that was about, but anyways, Renee then responded to it and said, the mics are hot, baby. And then Lena, aka Nia Jax, responds with, girl, it's going to be strictly gossip and hot tea I have on everyone. So, well,
let's drink some of that tea. I'll drink some of that tea. But listen, let's talk about this real quick. Nia Jax, she recently got released. She has 90-day non-compete. Is she allowed to do interviews in that 90-day? Is she allowed to do any type of media? I don't think so. I think the last time, like when Chelsea Green got released last year, I think she waited after the 90 days to start doing some press, or after the 60 day, because she was NXT. Actually, no, she was 90 because she was at SmackDown. Yeah. But again, I don't know what the logistics here, what the legalities are. Are they allowed to talk interviews while they're still under that non-compete? Does that affect them at all? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know, because probably have to get the lawyer involved on this. But I mean, technically, she's still a WWE employee until that time runs out, which will be February 2nd in this case. But so because they could still, I guess you could still work for them or something. I don't know. But I don't honestly don't know about when it comes to interviews and stuff. I really am not sure what the logistics are on that. I'm sure if there were something major against it. We probably will know in the near future now that the story is broken.
Yeah, man. And it should be noted, too, that Nia Jax has been a figure of controversy out of the last few years. She had that match with Kairi Sane last year where she pretty much landed her right on her head. Then she had that altercation with Charlotte Flair. She had that other issue with Paige. I mean, so she's had some issues in the past where the fans really point out what's going on. I hope Renee, ask those hard-hitting questions. Hey, talk to us about this. Talk to us about what happened with Charlotte, because that's something I really want to know about.
She and plus Renee's been there, so she knows a lot of things too. And so it'll be interesting when the two come together and to see what they talk about and come up with. As of now, no date in regards to when that interview is going to happen and when it's going to drop.
Shout out to everyone that is joining us right now for the first time or the returning guys. I know you loyals are always joining us every single day. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you're like, sharing, and subscribing. We got Justin Louis Fleming on the Facebook saying WWE mocked AEW last night. Let's point that out real quick, because during that promo with The Miz and Edge, which by the way I marked out for The Miz because he came with Maryse, so
yeah.
that was a great reason to mark out. However. When Edge points out that you're living rent-free in people's head when you have people from another show mentioning your name just to get a cheap reaction, that was great. I thought that was really cool that they mentioned him and that they acknowledge him.
Yeah.
But back to this Nia Jax story, man. And just to what you said, Renee worked there in the past too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they could both attest to some of the personalities backstage, right? And they were both on Total Divas as well, right?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they talk about whenever that comes about. Hopefully we don't have to wait till February, but we'll see.
Daniel Cruz watching here. Cannot wait till she spilled them beans. Shelton Hicks, Lena and Nia Jax don't play. Howl at me. David Figueroa, good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. And if you're just joining for the first time, let us know where you're watching from, what state, what country, what part of the globe you are watching us from. All right, man, let's jump into our second story here. Undertaker, as always, making headlines now that he's retired. He's taking all sorts of interviews and doing all sorts of media these days. And today he had a very interesting response to the very common question: what is your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling? Excuse me. In my case, my Mount Rushmore includes Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Eddie Guerrero, and The Undertaker. Those are my four. Those are my guys, right? And The Undertaker had a very interesting response to this. What happened here in The Undertaker's interview?
Undertaker recently speaking with Kevin Hart, and what a great channel name for his Kevin Hart's YouTube channel. Cold as Balls on the Laugh Out Loud.
Love it.
What a title. And he had asked Undertaker what his Mount Rushmore was, and basically, without hesitation, named three names right off the bat: Andre the Giant, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock, and then added in Shawn Michaels. So, it was a pretty quick answer there by Taker. He didn't have to think about it too hard, and definitely a great four to go with there.
I can't argue with that.
No, I'd have to think about mine. I would probably have to say Ric Flair, Stone Cold, The Rock, and I'd have to think about the fourth one.
I mean, like Shawn Michaels is up there, Undertaker's up there. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, some of the old guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can. Everybody has a different Mount Rushmore, but this is very interesting, especially that he put Stone Cold in his Mount Rushmore, because this is someone that he worked with. He had a really good program with Stone Cold, and he talks about him in every single interview. He gives him the highest praise of how good Stone Cold is, and vice versa. When Stone Cold is asked about The Undertaker, man, it's just they have that chemistry, just not as that great chemistry like The Rock and Stone Cold, but still very interesting choice of Mount Rushmores. Guys, sound off in the comments. Let us know Who are your Mount Rushmores of pro wrestling? We'll read them out loud later in the broadcast. And as I see you guys chiming in the comments, thank you so much for joining us. We got people joining us from Oklahoma City. We got people joining us from Maryland, people from Michigan, Georgia, from Everett, Washington, all over the country this afternoon. We got people from Guam watching us, people from Michigan, from Prosperity, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio, New Orleans. We got people from all over the world, guys. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And go ahead and, again, sound off in the comments. Let us know your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. Does it measure up to the Undertaker's? Does it measure up to Jeremy's? Does it measure up to mine? So we'll talk about that.
Probably have to add Sting as my fourth, probably.
Okay.
Growing up
Respect.
growing up NWA, that's where Ric Flair and Sting would fall into the effect, and of course the Attitude Era with Rock and Stone Cold. That was my college years, so high school and college years. So I think we put Stinger in as the fourth one, at least for now, off the top of my head.
All right, Jeremy. So let's jump into our final story before we show off everyone's Mount Rushmores of pro wrestling. And this is a very interesting story. You know, we have you can't really confuse Hollywood and pro wrestling because they kind of go hand in hand, right? It's live action, fighting, and storytelling, which is exactly what a movie is. It's live action storytelling through a camera, but just with better quality and a lot more editing, whereas wrestling, it's all in one take. Now, we've seen in the past how wrestlers go into Hollywood. We've seen The Rock, major success. We've seen Hulk Hogan even dive into Hollywood. Dolph Ziggler's dived into Hollywood. Dean Ambrose has dived into Hollywood. Bray Wyatt is on his way to talk about Hollywood. But now there is someone else who's making the jump to Hollywood. Didn't have that great of a success in the main roster. One Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, right now, apparently, there's no name of the movie. There's no date of the project. But looks like he's making a jump to Hollywood, making movies. What's the scoop here, Jeremy?
Fightful reporting that he has landed a lead role in an upcoming action film. No word on how big that film is or whatnot, or who the director is, the title. Nothing is really known at this time. Production is expected to begin next year, but he has landed a lead role. Of course, it could be a small film, could be a bigger film. Who knows? But prior to joining WWE, Karrion Kross did star in Before the Dark, which aired in 2013 and 2014. I'm trying to think of where that originated. You can watch it on Tubi TV right now, but I cannot remember what channel that originated prior. Man, now it makes a lot of sense why he's growing hair too.
Yeah, because I've been noticing that in all the pictures that he's had with Scarlett, that he's letting his hair grow out.
Yeah.
And if this is the reason, I'm all for it, man. I think he has a look. He has an action hero look.
Yeah.
And if he's got the lead role, man, congratulations to him, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are gonna criticize what WWE did to him in the main roster, but let's not forget what he did in NXT. He was absolutely amazing in NXT. Everybody loved him. I don't think he had any control of the situation of what happened to him in the main roster.
No.
That's not his fault. And I just wish him a lot of success. I want him to succeed, and I want him to have a good career in the movies if he's not going to return to wrestling.
Yeah, I think he'll return to wrestling, though. I think both him and Scarlett I know Scarlett wants to get back in the ring, something WWE held her back from for whatever reason. I know she wants to return to the ring. I'm sure Kross is going to return to the ring somewhere, too. It's hard telling where he'll end up. He could always go back to Impact. It's just kind of interesting, like all these options. Like Ring of Honor has disappeared. They won't be back till April. Impact really needs a better TV deal. They got a good product, they just need a better TV deal. So until all that, in MLW about the same way, they need almost a better TV deal as well. And so until then, it's interesting to see where he'll land. But I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in a GCW as well. Something like that.
I mean, it is red hot right now. Besides it not being one of the big conglomerate wrestling companies, but it's having name recognition. It's you've said it time and time again. It is essentially the new ECW.
Yeah, and they got
that
big
appeal.
They got that big Hammerstein show coming up too that just sold out. That is going to be probably a landmark show that's going to have some major names in it. And God, I can't wait to watch wrestling in the Hammerstein Ballroom again too, because that's going to be a hell of an environment with the diehard GCW fans that they have. I mean, if you ever watch a show, man,
and the Hammerstein Ballroom is such a special place too for pro wrestling.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had countless events in there. And it's just the acoustics in there alone.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but the acoustics enough from what I hear on TV comes across very, very nice. So that's a good place to go.
When Brett Lauderdale put out that tweet that there were 24 tickets left, I almost decided to jump on it, but I don't think I could have. I don't think I could have got off work for it. So, but man, I thought about it pretty hard because I'd love to go to a GCW show here sometime soon.
Guys, earlier in the show, we had asked you, we were talking about the Undertaker's Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, and he revealed it in an interview with Kevin Hart. And I asked you guys to sound off in the comments and let us know who your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling is. I said that mine was The Rock. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Eddie Guerrero, and The Undertaker. Jeremy mentioned, you said Stone Cold?
Yeah, Stone Cold, The Rock, and then, of course, growing up with NWA, Ric Flair and Sting.
Ric Flair and Sting. And we've had a bunch of you guys sound off in the comments, so we're going to go ahead and read a couple of these. We got John Whitwell watching us on Facebook saying, Hulk, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, The Rock. Solid. We're going to have to keep tallies on how many Rocks and Stone Colds are going to appear on here. Eric Calavera watching us on YouTube. Andre the Giant, Hulk, Macho Man Randy Savage, Abdullah the Butcher, he's old school, and Brody. Yes, Brody Bruiser. I love that. Let's see what else we got in here. We got Demo Katabe watching us on YouTube. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, The Rock. There's another one. Nishad Ali, Jewa watching us on Facebook. Superstar Billy Graham, Bob Backlund, Ernie Ladd, and Bobo Brazil. Wow, he went way back. Way back into time. Joseph Venditti watching us on YouTube. Hogan, Stone Cold, Flair, Steamboat, Savage, Undertaker.
It's going to be small heads to fit into that space.
I know. I think we need to take one. It's
got to be four.
It's got to be four. It's got to be four. Yeah,
Mount Rushmore.
CRC, Christopher Ryan Cooper watching us on Facebook. Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Sting, and Shawn Michaels. Guys, the old school. Who else we got up in here? McReynolds Mac watching us on Facebook. Sting, Rock, Undertaker, Kane. Interesting choices that Stone Cold didn't make it on there because right now we've seen a lot of Stone Colds on here.
Yeah.
Elliot Jablot saying San Martino, Flair, Hogan, and The Rock. Again, Rock is up in there. Let's see who else we got here. And again, guys, we thank you so much for joining us and commenting and engaging with the show. This is all about you guys and making sure that we engage with you guys. Callum Christie here watching us on Facebook. The Rock, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Triple H, the first Triple H. Triple H should be up there. I have a Triple H pops right there.
I got one too. It's somewhere.
I don't have an Eddie Guerrero. If I had an Eddie Guerrero pop, then that would be my Mount Rushmore. But right now, with my pops here, Triple H is definitely up.
Yeah, I got a Flair, my Flair and Charlotte gold behind me. I got another Flair that came with WWE 2K that I bought, that special edition Flair. I don't think Sting ever had a pop. And I have a Stone Cold pop somewhere, and I have The Rock is behind me. Rock and Sock is behind me there too. And I got another Rock by itself up there too. I got Triple H too. A buddy of mine got that for me for birthday or Christmas. I think it was a King of Kings one. Yeah, pretty cool.
Was it the gold one? The gold one?
No, it's he's wearing a crown. He's wearing that crown.
Oh, the crown with the skull?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Now,
right,
I
guys.
wish there was a Jeff Hardy pop because he's coming to my
They don't
town
have
next
one?
month. There's one with him and his brother, but it's like expensive. It's worth like $60, and eBay it's like 80 right now. Because Hardy's coming to do a acoustic performance here in my town next month, and I'm thinking about getting tickets to meet and greet, $50 meet and greet. So not bad. Plus you get a concert. So, but unfortunately, only him and his brother had the pop, and that's a little too expensive for my taste. So.
The last Mount Rushmore here that I'm going to show up over here. This one's hilarious.
Oh,
Roland Del Garrido, Vince, Shane, Stephanie, and Linda.
I like that. I like that, pal. Yeah.
Hey, Roland, that's some good, that's such good shit.
Such good shit.
All right, guys, that does it for today's top story. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got tomorrow, we got the debrief where we're going to be breaking down both NXT 2.0 and AEW Dynamite. That's tomorrow night, immediately after Dynamite. Then Thursday night, make sure you check out the brand new show on Instagram with Diamond Dallas Page. Bang! The Bro Show with Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone. That is every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday morning in Indian Standard Time. So make sure you check that out and give us a follow on Instagram. As well, you guys can follow us on our socials, Jose G Official, at JB Huskers over here. And also make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. We are on our way to 24,000, on our way to 30,000, but we can't do it without you guys. So go ahead, head over to this to the YouTube right now. Like, share, subscribe, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss whenever we drop brand new videos, brand new content. All right. This Thursday, I have Weekends of Wrestling. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Rico and I are going to be coming back from our Thanksgiving break. And we're going to be talking everything WWE, AEW, everything that's going on in the world of wrestling. So check me out Thursday night, 8 p.m. on my Weekends of Wrestling YouTube channel, Twitch channel, and here on Facebook. Jeremy, what you got going on?
I don't know yet, but we're on a hiatus right now. Right now, we're on a little hiatus with Lost the Mid Card. We got some things going on here with my buddy's family, so hopefully everything turns out good there. So right now, we're on a little bit of hiatus, but stay tuned. If we are going to record, we will on Wednesday and put out a show on Thursday. We've been off for about a month, but you can search for Lost in the Mid Card on the YouTube and subscribe and hit the bell so you know when a new one comes your way. Hopefully this week, but you can follow me on the Twitter as well. I'll keep you up to date if we got a new episode coming.
Boom. That's it, guys. So that's our plugins. That is it for the show. We will see you guys tomorrow where we're bringing you all the top headlines in the world of wrestling. So for Jeremy Bennett, I'm Jose G. Remember, guys, when you're watching wrestling, you have to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
Boom.
1.0.